Greetings and welcome to Project Pandora. I am Darkling and this is Ark Survival Evolved. Today we'll be continuing the progress on the storage department. So we're going to hopefully get that room sorted out by the end of the video. No promises, but we'll do what we can. So stick around and hopefully you'll learn something. Okay, for those that are keeping track, we have actually just had a little bit more of an influx of triangle ceilings. I just went through and added a whole bunch more. I had a look and we were almost out, so I've added another 500 to the storage box. Now, what I've decided, it's been a few days since I actually did the last recording, just with time constraints and all. I had a few thoughts as to how I wanted to do this room, and what I've decided to do is I'm going to drop the level here so that it matches the top of the window. So I'm going to drop that out, and I'm going to put my library, my armory above here. Now I always do a separate section for putting all my gear and equipment in, and I decided I like the idea of having it above this lot, so I'm going to have a go at that. So I'm going to need to make a few little adjustments to what I've already placed, which isn't a problem. Should be a fairly straightforward changeover, and I think it should actually prove to be an easier one to match. That look right, actually. Oh, I still need that anyway. So I hope everybody's well after the last video. Obviously I won't know until the end of the series how everybody is video to video, because I'm not posting until all this is done. So hope everybody is keeping well. I hope you're enjoying your building some new things with any luck. That's the biggest thing I want to see come of this. I want to see something that people have created just because they saw it can be done. Just some new ideas or some tricks that they've managed to adopt from my own techniques, and that would be really cool. I hold out hope that something like that might happen. I've had a few people just from some of the early stuff that I did, screenshots and things like that, who've actually stated how much they've gotten from like just the early, because I started off with a blog and I didn't get a lot of comments on the actual blog itself. Everybody who actually commented or actually got hold of me directly. I've had a few people contact me via Steam, a few on my Discord. A lot of people seem to have they don't like actually posting stuff to the public forum, so that's really cool. I don't mind. If you don't want to get involved that way, you can always come to the Discord and have a chat there. Not a problem. Wait, I'm not even placing the right thing. You guys don't have to get back to me, you don't have to provide me with anything. It is always nice to hear when people are having good experiences. I especially like to see screenshots. If you do build anything that's using some of the techniques I've shown you, please do send me some screenshots at least. You don't have to make any comments or anything like that, just a few screenshots is always a good place to go. Oh man, I need to get the ceilings off this guy. I've seen some pretty cool builds lately, not from people that have sent them into my screenshot section necessarily, but I've seen some builders on some other servers that have done some really good jobs. I've been spending a lot of time looking through other, like, not other YouTubers, but people who stream. I have a fair bit to do with a few streamers, so I keep on top of like what other people are up to in that respect. And I've seen some really cool stuff. I may have mentioned the art of Caden before. If you haven't heard of Caden, jump into my Discord. I have linked him a couple times in the self-promo section. He played Ark quite some time ago, and he normally plays Space Sims. But he's come back, and his building, for somebody who has been away from Ark for as long as he has, his building is amazing. He uses a few different mods to do his work, so it's a little bit different than what I produce, but it is really, really cool. He did a really nice floor where the mod that he was using, it was metal glass or glass metal, something like that. Looked absolutely amazing. It had he managed to get wood with a glass over the top of it. Came out really, really nice. Okay, so what I need to do is find my cool, I've got 4. That should do me nicely. I need to put in elevator. Now I have to decide where this is going to snap on, because I need it to be able to ideally I'd want it in this spot here, but if I do, it's going to stick out the wall. By the same regards, if I stick it here, it's going to stick over the front there. I'd rather not stick it in front of any of the vaults in case I screw something up and accidentally go up when I don't mean to. Suppose I could stick it to one side. I'm going to do one on each side of the room at this point. I possibly could do more, but I think I'll just stick with the 2. So I'll take that one out. Might help if I have it hotbarred. Let's make that opaque so it's blends in better. That's cool, and that means that one there gets replaced. So top on it. Okay, that didn't go well. That's better. Alrighty, so make opaque. Excellent. So this level looks good. I'm not going to do much to it to make it look any different. I will rail around the outside, obviously, but as this is just going to be another storage level for armor and items like that, it doesn't really need anything too flash about it. Now I think I will add a little bit here, and I won't cut it off quite so harshly. Yeah, I like that. So on this side, I'm going to keep it on the same side, so I'm going to remove that one and remove that one. It's fine. Always figure something's going to drop out. Alrighty. I'm going to run out of railings before long. Not too much of a hassle. Ah, yeah. Okay, so let's replace that one. See, I don't mind when it places in the wrong place. I get more annoyed when something like that happens, when it actually full on replaces a section of wall. Now this room itself wasn't actually meant to be accessible by the main elevator. I was actually planning to have... sorry, no, this one was, it's the one below. So the storage is the crafting is not going to have access for a large dino to get through. I decided to make that so that as far as it goes, it's not really needed. If I stick a large dino in the crafting area, it's not going to make a huge difference. I mean, I could load it up with more materials, but I can do a lot of pulling and things like that. The only things I would want to move down are actual building materials, but again, I can just use the transfer gun for things like that. Okay, so I can go back up. I'll rail this off. Okay, you gonna catch up? Yes, you are. Okay, so this level is all sorted. Now, I did have thought of actually taking the mezzanine floor all the way over to the entrance. I decided against it. I did think about it, so don't think I just overruled the whole thought of that. But I made the executive decision to carry on as I have done it this time. So the next step is to just trim off the top of this to get rid of the sky that you can see through the gap and to align it up higher with the rest of the build. As you can see, you can still jump over, you can still maneuver around the build, and I can't believe I'm actually out of walls. How did I not bring enough? Okay, so I'll have to sort that out. So far I'm really enjoying this build, actually maneuvering around and actually like living in it. I know I'm not actually living in it, this is because I've spawned it all, everything is just me running through and building new sections of it, but as I'm like working my way through the building, everything's feeling really good. Like the doors are in the right places, the elevators in a good spot that I can still get where I want to go without too much hassle. I do like a little bit of travel. I like to have to maneuver around a base, and if you remove too much of the ability to run around, I think you actually detract from the build a little bit, because you don't want to make it too easy, because at the moment I have to maneuver around, I get to enjoy all the different parts of the base, and I think that's the most important part for me, is to, like, if you've ever had a big base that you're really proud of and you start running around it and you're living in it, for me the first experience like that was the center map build, the first Maz 2 of it. That base was just, it just made me so happy. Like every time I got back from doing a mission somewhere and ended up back at base, all I could think of was, this is a really cool base to come back to. And I think once you've had the experience of like living in a really cool base and really enjoying what you see every time you come back, it changes the game quite a bit for you. It feels more, you get that homely feel, you know? Maybe you don't know. Alrighty, so I've also been wondering about the height of the next, the actual viewing platform level. I wondered about making it lower, but I think I'm going to keep it the same height actually. So when I'm not building and I'm doing real life stuff, I do keep thinking about what I'm doing here and what I might want to do to further the build. Not a lot gets done away from the recordings. Sometimes I'll just have a spark of an idea and that's enough. Most of it's actually getting done. Oh, that's not snapping the right place. Most of it is actually getting done in the recording itself. Like I said, there has been a few things that haven't, but it's usually been real fleeting thoughts of, oh, I should try this, and it's just worked. So it may sound or seem a little bit pre-done, but it definitely isn't. I do a lot of things that are quite similar build to build, and it's just one of those things. I've learned a lot of things, I've made a lot of mistakes. Some things I, just out of experience, I will avoid. You'll get that when you've done a lot of building. You learn what you have problems with, and once you know what problems you have, you know how to fix them because you keep an eye out for them. Now what I'm going to do is, I don't have any on me, that's a bummer. So I'm going to need another elevator, and that's to go up to the next level. I'm going to end up with a little bit of something sticking out. Can't avoid that. Okay, so this level's really good. I'm going to need some storage chests just to fill things out nicely. I'll probably put quite a few up here. That way I can spread resources out. Sorry, not just resources. Sometimes I'll have ammo, and I'll have trank arrows separately, trank darts separately. So I'll keep things fairly spaced out, just so when it comes to grabbing things in a hurry, I don't have to sift through what's in each of the storage boxes. Now I think I might keep these railings at the top here. I think I might keep them visible. Like, I could turn them into just regular half walls, but I like the idea of having them. Some of these are snapped differently. What's the most common thread I've got? Oh. Apparently I've snapped them all over the place. So let's fix that. That's me not paying attention. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to keep these visible. I like the look of the half wall in between. I think it's cool because it looks non-standard. Like, normally you'd have a large section of like just a straight wall between them. I think because of the way they lie, it does change the look, so it doesn't look like every other build. And that's usually where the biggest differences are in my build, is just the trimmings. A lot of the stuff that I build, like the storage, I've used this setup for quite a while now, or at least variations of. I think once you find something you like, you tend to stick with it. And everybody has their own style of play. Like, some people are tamers, you got breeders, explorers, you know, whatever floats your boat. And everybody builds differently depending on what they need. I build around my storage. My storage is my most important part of my base, and that's because I build. So it pays to have resources and building materials on hand at all times, nice and easy to access. It's just the way I build. Whereas somebody who's a tamer is going to put more emphasis on potentially having a kitchen that's accessible, because they want to, I don't know where that went, because they want to be able to go and make kibble really quickly, or be able to access the chem bench in the kitchen if they've got one in the kitchen. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I'm liking that quite a bit. I think I might change these lower ones to half walls though. Now, like I've said before, you will have spots where you'll have some bleed through from certain things you've put into place. You can go through and remove them all. I don't always. Sometimes I'll just see how much they bother me, and if they don't bother me too much, I'll just leave them in place. I probably leave most of these as they are. If I play in here much longer, like after I finish the build, maybe I would change something, but I don't think I would. So I'm going to need some storage boxes, I am going to need some more tech elevators, and we'll go from there. I'm just going to do a quick U-turn. some lovely weather going on. Didn't realise it had gone bad in there. So I must be getting some good house buffs because I didn't notice any issues with rain in there. It's one of the biggest issues I have with base building, the way I build quite large. I tend to like high roofs. I think a good high ceiling is a very nice... Okay, it's the torches. Adds a nice feel to a base, but if you make it too high, you end up losing out on the house buff. Sorry. 50 is probably way more than I need. Okay. Now, I haven't done any lighting in the build. I'm actually leaving that, and I'm going to do that as one episode, I believe. Oh, tech elevators, that was the other thing I needed. Here's me trying to remember what else it was. 10 is more than enough. Have I got any slope walls? Yes. I have got a couple of ramps. I'm going to grab a couple more ramps actually. From that one. Okay, that's awesome. So I'm looking forward to getting this build completed so I can start posting it. I probably mentioned it before, I'm going to do it as a reverse order build posting, so I'll post the tour first, and then if people like it they can watch the actual building of it. I don't want people to start watching and get bored, because it is going to be a long build. I mean, this is the 22nd episode, so we're a long way through now. It's been quite a lot of building. Okay, so that should allow me to jump up. Excellent. Now I need to start from this side and work back around so I know all the ceiling heights are the same. Seriously, what? Is there like seriously one spot here where it just starts raining? No? No idea. Okay. Fine. And another spot where it's starting to rain. I think it just can't make up its mind whether or not the house buff is in operation or not. What's up with that? Okay, so the ceilings do look the right height. Actually starting to get a tad dark in here. Oops, try to type one-handed here. Yeah, I'm actually a touch typist, but it's a bit of a problem in the fact that I have the mic stand sitting literally on the desk in front of me, and whenever I go to type as quick as I normally type, I knock the mic over, so that will be a little bit on the finicky side. Is it going to let me go up the elevator carrying this much stuff? It is indeed. Good on you, Orion's son. I must find out if we can actually adjust the weights that the elevators can carry. I keep meaning to have a look into it. I'm going to see if there is actually a limit. I've not seen any reference to a limit, but I'm pretty sure there would be one. Most elevators do have one. I'd like to think that this one's is bigger. Wow, it's gone really dark again. I don't want to keep changing the time of day. Like, I can change the time of day without too much hassle. I don't really want to, because I like the experience of day to night in this game. I usually just make do with gamma. Nighttime is, I reckon in Ark, nighttime is the best time. Like, I hate going out and hunting at night. I hate having to deal with Trudons at night. But the actual like how bases and the things in the game look at nighttime are just amazing. Doesn't mean I want to spend all my time during the night, but it definitely does create a certain sort of ambience. Now I could use underneath this section for more storage. Depending on what build I was doing, I would possibly put some secret storage underneath here. Just about every single one of my builds has a secret spot. So some of them it's more obvious than others. Okay, did it just... Right. Some of them more obvious than others. I like having secret rooms. Some of the rooms are accessible only by picking a tile up, which with S plus is not a problem. Let's just drop these because I really don't need them. For that. Okay. Should do. First elevator's here. Now I haven't put that second elevator in. So yeah, I made a decision early on about the whole lighting thing, about setting the time of day. If it gets so dark that I struggle to see anything, I think it's impeding the recording, I will do the set time of day. As much as I can, I probably won't. Like I said, I do like the feel of nighttime. I have done it a number of times already, but it just depends on how annoying or how much I'm thinking the vision is obscured. I think I've already said that. You'll hear me repeat myself a lot. I do that in real life. I'm forever repeating myself. God, it's going to be bad when I get old. You know, you hear stories about your grandparents when they repeat the same story 1,000 times. I already do that. So, yeah, I'm not holding out much hope for myself as I get older. Did I tell you the story about... Yes, you did. For the 1,000th time. I mean, every family's got one of those people that tell you the same story over and over again. Okay, things are looking pretty awesome. So each of these elevators is going to get a row of railings around it. I'm going to have to pick up this support. Before I pick up the last of the supports, I will do a server save. Standard practice for me. Just on the off chance that something manages to disintegrate. Now, I am not going to let that sink low. I need that on the highest snap. Really? Why do you go down there? That's the snap point I want. The highest snap point. Now the reason I'm doing the highest snap point is the elevators, the way I place them, oh, I'm going to need more. The way I place them here, when you stick the railing around them, because there's nothing underneath them at the moment, they are going to snap to the top. So I'm going to make sure that the rest snap to the top just to keep everything blended nicely. Really, I'm almost through those already. Okay, let me get some more. I've already got the roofs, or the ramps, should I say. I use them as roofs, so not too far off. That's not the elevator. I'm actually wondering about sticking an elevator on the other sides as well. I don't know. off and hop back on. Awesome. Back this direction. I was hoping to have actually had the recording done now. Obviously, I don't mean necessarily the hours, more I was hoping to actually have the recording finished and done with. This has been going for a little while now. I'm just recording as and when I have time to actually get around to doing it. Is that the misplaced one? Really? It went down here? Did it go through the teleporter or something? Okay, I'm kind of disappointed that I can't have a triangle above just to match the one below here. You'll have to forgive me there, I just had a cricket jump from I really don't know where. I'm just making sure I didn't sit on them. Alrighty, so from here I'm going to make a little structure to go underneath just to tidy things up a little bit. Now, will it let me put that directly on there? Yeah, I thought it might. There we go. I just wanted something just to tie it in a little bit more. If it gets any darker, I'm definitely going to end up doing a time of day, which is unfortunate. Feels good. Okay, I'm going to set time of day, it's looking a bit horrible. Set time of day. 7 o'clock. Reset the gamma. Alrighty. Still need to do the walls over there, which I won't be able to do from here. Oops, that did not go where it was meant to. Doesn't feel right. Something's wrong. The snapping around here. I know that snapped wrong, and that's because that is a sloped wall instead of just a regular wall. I think this is the spot that's actually screwing it. How down can I go? Okay, that, yeah, whatever works. Alrighty, so things are looking pretty good. Pretty good. So once I get the rest of the railings up the top, that'll be awesome. I'm going to need to do the storage. I'm going to grab half of those now if I can carry the weight. Just lose a few things off me. Lose everything off me. That is not an elevator. That is. And it is this level I want. So there's a few choices I've got here. I could put complete snapped rows all the way along. How is that going to look if I desnap that? It looks stupid. Okay, it's fine. We don't want to move those two. I'm going to place this one about there. A desnap. And I'm going to place one roughly one at a corner with the other one. Ooh. Big corner to corner, not miles from the wall. And alignment's better. Why is this one out so much? Just me, or is it actually on a different height? Let me just try this one again. It still looks like it's a different height, but never mind. I'm going to skip this wall entirely, I think. No, I might actually stick one there after all. I'll just use one just at the end here. Maybe be perfect because I don't have anything else snapped off it. A little bit of an overlap there. Can I live with it? I think I can. Certain parts I don't stress about too much. A little bit of side overlap, that's not too much of a hassle. And what I'm trying to do here is blend how much you can see some of the walls creeping through. So I'm trying to make sure it's creeping through all over it as much as I can, to keep it nice and balanced. Again, if I wasn't happy with how this turned out, I would literally just go through and redo it. It's not a major. I have a little bit of bleed through on that, that shouldn't stick out anywhere important. Again, I'm not going to have anything snapped to this particular one, so where is the sloped wall on the outside? That's the question. Just going to ghost out here and just have a quick peek. Okay, so there's a slight piece of corner sticking through. Way up here is not a problem. Again, like I said, if it was a problem, I could just go through and redo it. It's nothing huge. Let's face it, this is just cosmetic stuff. I don't really need this in the grand scheme of the build vids. Okay. That is fine. There's stacks of storage around here. I'm not quite sure on this part. A bit iffy actually. Like I said, it depends on how much things annoy me. That looks way crooked. I mean, I know I have pretty bizarre tastes in a lot of things. Everybody has different thoughts and flavors, so to speak. I tried saying two words at the same time there. Speak and say. Okay, what just happened? Let's just ghost out of that. Not quite sure how that occurred. I should actually get rid of the box that's sticking through the wall too. It looks much more flush on both ends. No, that's cool. I can live with. All the way up to the end as much as I need to. The top pieces are fixed. I just need to finish putting the railing around. I need to make this opaque. So I did this particular, part of the build. When I've still got the kitchen and things like that to do. I'm focusing on this room because I could see it being probably the most complicated one to actually construct. So I wanted to get it out of the way. I've got a list of things I need to get done. And the list was getting longer rather than shorter. I normally have it actually on the desk in front of me just in case, but it's actually in the kitchen at the moment. I was looking at it the other day, trying to think of anything else that I'd missed. I didn't add to it at that point, but the last time I went through and did a build and did a double check, I found things that just hadn't been done. Why am I down? Railings. Yes, misc box. Stack of 100 should do it. Got the model gun, I can do the windows. Ooh. So if I'm not mistaken, by completing the windows on this level, the majority of the outside of the base is actually completed. I do plan to possibly stick some windows in the towers. I'm not 100% sure yet how I'm going to go about doing it, if I'm going to do it. Some of them I do like not being able to see into them, and because of that I might not do it for any of them, just because I want to keep a consistency through the towers. I don't want the towers to look real hodgepodge compared to the rest of it. Is it just me, or can I hear something getting attacked? Maybe my Quetzal's got hay fever. Yeah, take that. Snap to the opposite. So I haven't got plans specifically for the next build. I'm still contemplating what I might go about doing. I tend to put a bit of thought into a build before I start on it. This build in particular I didn't. I actually went into it quite blind. I did do there's that little house that I've been doing the intros from. That was built first, obviously, and that was just me making sure I was going to making sure of the way I planned to connect a few things, and I was testing the inverted ceilings, because I can invert a ceiling and I can build off that, but I wanted to be sure if I wanted to actually go ahead and do it. Okay, so here is the server save. Save world. Yep, I had the big glitch of movement, and everything's still standing. Okay. We've gone a bit dark again. Game of 3 should be enough for now. Okay, so the top up here is nice and open and nice and spacious. Now I am going to add viewing platforms along here, so I will need to go and get more materials for that. Should have got those before, but I didn't. Okay, and this level is completed. I can't see myself needing anything more. Did I see a misplaced rail up there? It's okay now, it must have been at a funny angle. Okay, the spaces up here look fine. Trim them off okay, I can live with those. So structurally, other than the need to add the viewing windows at the top, this is looking pretty good. So let's get a modeling gun out and sort the modeling. So that's an A, so that should be a 3B. This should be a 1B? No, 2B. 2A. Now, where I can, I'm going to cheat a little bit so I don't have to mess around quite so much. Okay, so is this going to be a corner C? Which means that would be a corner B. Don't ask me how I remembered that, I don't normally. 1B? No, it's a 1A. It's not. That's a 1B. No, it's not. Okay, so I'm an idiot. That's fine. So what I work it out as, this is a C, B, A, and D. Okay, nice big windows. They're quite obscured because of the way the storage works, but that's fine, because you'd be coming into this section to use the elevators and whatnot, or just look out the window. It's there for when you want to look. Of course, why else would it be there? Just thought I'd state the obvious a little bit, you know. That must be a D, was it? No, that's an A. It's the D. I find this sort of thing takes up a lot of time. It'd be cool if there was a quicker way of doing it, but I can't picture how you would do it quicker. Unless you were able to place the whole lot in one go, but let's face it, this is Ark. Place one thing in one go and it doesn't always end up where you want it. I'd really like to enter into the architect competition. I've seen that advertised a few times. I've never been able to get subscribed to the Save the Ark website. I think I may have mentioned this before. I've been struggling to get it to work. Ooh, I need to fill in this spot. Just reset the gamma, it's getting a bit bright. Side's already got one. Just grab a handful of each of these slopes. And get away with just one of each, but just in case something gets misplaced, it's easier to have a few. Oh, there you go, placed in one go. How often does that happen? So next is the transparency gun. You can actually see the golem sticking through the wall of the tower a little bit. I'm not going to worry about that, it's a minor issue. Ooh, that is the wrong way around apparently. Means this side probably is as well. Clear it and to make sure I didn't screw up there. So yeah, I've been wanting to do the architect competition that Arc Wildcard holds. I'd really love to have a go. I've had a few bases that I reckon would have had a good chance of getting attention. I think if I managed a few of those, the YouTube would probably take off a little bit quicker. Okay, so I believe that's all of that sorted. I'm gonna need some glass for the top. Now, I could do an entire loop around the base as glass, but I'm not going to. I'm going to make 6 viewing windows, and that's just going to be using glass ramps. I had to think about it, and I could replace some of the other stuff as well, some of the sloped tri-roofs, but I think if I add too much, I think it's going to change the look of the base a bit too much. Now, can I lose anything? Don't need those, don't need those. When I said I don't need them, I could do with moving still. Cool. So I need glass ramps. Trying to figure out how many I actually need. Should be plenty. So it looks like the glass still needs remodeling around the tops of 2 of the towers. I missed the front 2 when I did that last. It's not a major, I can sort that without too much hassle. I'm going to get this particular spot finished. And this feels really nice to come into. I really like this. I swear I'm not repeating it to try and convince myself, I do actually like it. Next level up. Okay, so this will make me nervous while I do it. Always does when I'm replacing something like this. As much as removing the central supports that I had. Just not knowing what is actually supporting what. So that's one of the reasons why I'll be replacing rather than picking up and putting back down. So there we go. There you go, Damon Whalen. You said that I should have some areas where you can stand on and look down. That's your spot. There's been a few people that have seen small glimpses of what this base actually looks like. People that have supported me along the way or offer advertising or, you know, just chatting on a regular basis. And they've had tidbits given to them. Nobody's seen past hour 9. So it's going to be a surprise when I get more completed So a few of them are going to get invited for the actual tour, which I'm really looking forward to. I suspect there may be mischief, who knows. With the people that I'm getting on, there's usually at least some mischief. The only thing I've got to be careful of is language, which we don't normally keep an eye on. When I hang out with those people, language is usually the last thing on our mind. Okay, and this is going to be the telltale. Cool. Wasn't just ramps holding the roof up. Excellent. And I don't believe you can remodel these at all. No. Okay, so it's just going to be a transparency. Awesome. So I want to see out but not see in. Okay, there should be all of them. I could put some seating up here, some plants maybe, to make it look a little bit more something. Make that opaque. Is it opaque? No, it's not. Okay, this is mostly just a viewing place, so it doesn't really need seating. But there's quite a good view from here. I wonder if you can actually see the tutorial, I'll call it a village, tutorial village. You can see just a little bit of it over there. Amazing what does actually render in. So we've got a nice big viewing area. I could make these with roofs and make it completely clear. I am not a fan of using roofs for various reasons. I'm pretty sure I've covered that on another video. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick fly around and see if all the remodeling has been done properly. I'm also interested to see what difference it makes actually having the glass portals. Oh yeah, they look pretty cool. They almost look like life pods. When I first described this build, when I was trying to come up with what it was going to look like, because I think it looks a little bit like a floating mountain of Pandora, which is part of the Pandora reference, but that's not the only Pandora, the only reference I had when I first started trying to like brainstorm for this project. The other thought was it would look like a Jedi temple upside down, which it doesn't really, not anymore. I also thought maybe it would end up looking like an X-wing about to plow into the ground. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't look like that either. But no, it's looking good. I like that there's not too much. I think if I'd gone glass all the way around at that section, the viewing platform, I think it would have looked a bit funny. And let's face it, it would have just been looking at the towers for the most part anyway. No, that's looking pretty awesome. Let's have a squiz from this side. There's only one wall that golem's actually sticking through there. How's that looking? Pretty fantastic? I think it is. Well, that's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you have liked the video. I do appreciate it when you do the likes. It does help out with video listings in the YouTube feeds, so go ahead and hit that button if you haven't already. Also, if you would like, I have a Discord channel, so you can come and have a chat, post screenshots, whatever you want to do. Other than that, I would like you to take care and enjoy your building.
that once again.